All right, as promised, let's go back now to one of our top stories, and that is the arrest of 7 suspects in the murder of AKA, also known as Kid and Forbes and Tibz. And we now speak to Mbongiseni Ndzimandze, who is with the Times of Eswatini. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Your newspaper, of course, was the one that, also sparked this whole conversation as we looked and read with shock some of the details that were were contained in that particular report. What is, of course, now your reaction to the latest turn of events? You must feel vindicated.
Yes, I think we obviously feel vindicated because we are adamant of that our story was accurate. Reason being, the documents I think that is so used in writing the story, the documents that were filed by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution from South Africa in our code, where he narrates why the accused person wanted for in the Republic of South Africa. So we're adamant that our story was correct. But yet again, not knowing what has happened, maybe anything has changed in the Republic of South Africa. But what we used, what we wrote, was what was contained in the application filed by the Republic of South Africa in our country.
And when it comes into, of course, these 2 suspects that we understand now, according to the police, will be back in court next week, Tuesday. Let's talk about, some of the details that are now in your own, report. Was this account that is said to have been opened in South Africa, or was it in Eswatini? And do we also know where the money that would have been deposited in that account came from?
Yes, now I wouldn't, as much as I will not be comfortable to maybe delve much on the issue of the money and so forth and so on, but I will speak to what is contained in the affidavit that has been deposed to by the Director of Public Prosecution in the KwaZulu-Natal province, where she articulates how or what put the accused person, one, Siyabonga Ndzimandze and Malusi Ndzimandze, at the scene of crime. I think she does narrate their involvement thereof. I think part of that article does say that some of 800,000 Malawi was shared among the alleged, I would say the alleged killers of Mr. Forbes, of which is subject to court scrutiny. So there was money that was given to one of the suspects. I don't want maybe to mention names because I think it is still to be discussed in court. Who was given it is the Malawi, and it was distributed among them. One of them got 153,000, things like that. So yeah, it is articulated that there were accounts that were opened and money was flying all over after the demise of Mr. Forbes. So I think that is subject to the court scrutiny, because what I'm relating to you, if I may be specific, is what is contained in the affidavit filed by the Director of Public Prosecution from the Republic of South Africa to our country, whereby it's motivating this application why this guy should be brought back to South Africa to face the charges of, among others, the demise of Mr. Forbes, known as AKA. Also, they are wanted for the demise of a certain guy in Durban and KwaZulu-Natal. They are further wanted for the demise of a certain women. The charges that they want them for, according to the document that is in our possession, which document I can certainly say it was in the public domain now because it's filed in court. It shows that they are facing charges. They wanted for charges of conspiracy to murder. They wanted for murder, money laundering, possession of firearm and ammunition. Those are the charges they are wanted for in the Republic of South Africa. Being the first charge, if I may read for the document here, from the charge sheet, which says that they are wanted for 3 charges of murder in the Republic of South Africa.
So Mbongiseni, pardon me for coming in there. Have you had sight of these suspects, and what can you tell us about them?
Did I have sight of what? My apologies.
Of the suspects, because we do understand, according to police, they are detained, but they will appear again in court on Tuesday. What can you tell us about them?
They did their main court appearance on Monday, whereby we went there, took their pictures. That's why we also get the charge. We got the charge sheet and the affidavit that's been filed in court. The 2 gentlemen, they remanded in custody pending the deliberation of the issue of the extradition. They are supposed to appeal the 15th. My apologies, on Tuesday. On Tuesday, it should be the day whereby they will indicate whether they are opposing the application to have them extradited or not, because they still have a right to say, no, we don't want to go there and oppose, and maybe state the ground of it, they don't want to go to be sent home. But it's a way that the situation will still cause what will transpire there.
And of course now on Tuesday, as you say, that there will now be an indication as to whether or not it's going to be a straightforward case, or are we likely to see, some kind of fight back there. But did they appear with their own lawyers, or were they simply on their own?
They have hired a certain gentleman, yes. I forgot to mention that they've hired a certain gentleman in the country by the name of Tibz, who was an attorney, an admitted attorney of the High Court, who's representing them now. So it was a very similar lawyer was present when they made their maiden court appearance at the Mbongiseni Magistrate Court, who appeared on their behalf. They didn't say a lot. Their message only sought to verify from them if they are well, they are okay. I mean, they confirmed that they are okay and they are well. And the lawyer took over to submit that can they be remanded back to custody until Tuesday next week, whereby we'll be having full instruction. The full instructions, I believe, are on the basis of whether they do oppose the extradition or not, because I think it will be dated for the right to say no. And the court will have to determine that they should go and face their charges in the Republic of South Africa.
And Mbongiseni, just before I let you go then, very briefly, because we were talking to the police and they were saying that, as much as this process is now with the courts, they may not be able to talk much about, in terms of the process, what happens now, because one would then think that if they were in the country illegally, it might just be a case of simply sending them back. But the police are saying that it won't be as easy as that. So let's talk then about what's likely, because you're saying that if they are, going to put up a defense here, and it might take some time. So how do those cases then unfold in your home country when it comes to some cases of extradition, and how long do they likely take?
You see, if the court, if they subsequently, because at that time when they made their appearance, the first appearance, the charge of them being illegal in the country didn't reflect in the charge sheet, on the charge sheet. But we may never know, they might amend the charge and maybe charge them with being in the country illegally. Because I think it's clear that they were using informal crossing to come in and out of the country. They were not using the normal border case. If the state decides to add the charge of them being in the country illegally, it's the fine is 5 months or 500. I think they can easily pay that and be taken home. I don't think that can drag them, that can make them to stay for longer in the country. In the event, they are being charged for the immigration, but now they are being kept in custody on the basis of the provisional arrest that has been granted by the court that was after the request by South Africa.
Okay, so let me just get clarity quickly. You're saying that in the charge sheet you saw, there was no charge of them being in the country illegally and violating the Immigration Act?
When they made their appearance, the charge of them being, maybe they amended the charge sheet. The charge of them being in the country that didn't reflect there.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that update. We do appreciate it, Mbongiseni. That is Times of Eswatini's Mbongiseni Ndzimandze. Of course, we will continue to monitor the story. 5 of the suspects are in court, expected in court tomorrow. We will cover that court appearance for you. And also now we understand these 2 suspects will be appearing in Eswatini on Tuesday. It'll be interesting to also see as what Mbongiseni is saying there, whether this charge of contravening the Immigration Act is then added, the charge sheet is amended, and what then does that mean and how then the process unfolds going forward. So we'll give you all the details as the story unfolds.